Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Balvenie 16 French Oak. Dustin comes in at 47.6% ABV, and this is another double maturation Balvenie. 16 years in traditional bourbon casks, and then a finishing period that just says several months. So, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months in French oak that I will detail in the comment section. I am not taking a shot at that, but
what I will add to here, guys. So this is a fortified French white wine. This is a dessert wine. Dessert wine finishes have been hit or miss for me over the years, Mike. I love French oak. Dessert wines, I'm a little leery of.
Yeah, it's spelled Pineau, Pineau. I don't know. That's probably not even close.
Yeah.
But I will certainly put it in the description. You guys feel free to search what type of wine it is. But white wine is the dessert wine, Dustin.
We're not wine drinkers, guys. I hate to say it. So we try to get the scotches right, and we get them probably 70% right. Maybe.
Doing the best we can.
But we are not even going to try the French words. I think I watched like 6 reviews of people saying Chateau de la Baude correctly before I even attempted it.
All right, so what can you tell us about this one, Dustin?
All right, so the first thing I wanted to bring up here, Mike, is my understanding is, and this is just looking at the Balvenie website, they list this as like their new, as part of like the French oak series. So my assumption is, and I'm assuming here, guys, that there's going to be some additional French oak Balvenie releases. I believe this was a European release only, so I think you had to get this in the UK or via a website that will ship over collectible glassware.
And I tell you what, a weird ABV. Usually the single barrels are the 47.8. This is a 47.6. I know it's not a huge distinction, but still feels like they're...
Got me super excited, though, to see Balvenie where it's not 43.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And they've been doing a lot of 43s lately. They've got a couple new ones I saw, and I was like, oh, that looks... Never mind.
All right, Dustin, let's get to it, my friend. Very light whiskey, which you would expect from basically an all-bourbon cask maturation and then a fortified white wine.
Yeah. I mean, but it does have some color. It's not super light. And remember, their traditional casks are refilled. Mm-hmm. It is dessert. Mm-hmm. And it has... Unique. And I'll tell you what, it's very oaky, which, again, indicates French oak is playing a role, because French oak is super heavy on the oak.
Mm-hmm. It's a more porous wood, I've always read.
Yeah, which it adds more spice. And, I mean, it's here in platitudes.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Oh, man. Just big. I mean, it's almost to the point where it's hiding some of the Balvenie character. I'm still picking up a little of that heather honey. I'm still picking up a hint of the overall just general Balvenie sweetness. But man,
it's a unique Balvenie.
They have put in a lot of oak.
There's almost like a char to it too. There's a sweetness to it, but there's also a char to it too.
I was getting ready to say, I was almost thinking like a chestnut or something. But it's actually reminding me a little bit of like some of the American virgin oak notes I get, and not in a good way either.
Yeah, it feels a bit crispy, overdone almost, with that oak.
I think overdone's definitely the word. Again, but on the nose, at the same time though, I get down on French oak finished stuff occasionally, and it doesn't always mean it's a bad whiskey. It just let you know I'm here, I'm oaky.
Yeah, but the sweetness is kind of a nice counterbalance to it as well. I mean, they're fighting, but they're both worthy components. Yeah,
this is not a whiskey, Mike. I want to spend a lot of time nosing, so I'm going to hop in.
All right. Well, I will say at the end, at the very end of the nosing experience, you do get a little bit more of that Balvenie honey, and there is a little bit more of that maltiness. But as far as palate, what are you getting?
French oak is big time here, man. This is very oaky. It's very chewy oak. Brings in a little bit of walnuts. In fact, almost I'm thinking like a walnut cookie. Like a cookie made with like a bunch of walnuts in it. I get like a cookie pastry note with Balvenies consistently. They just vary. You know what it almost could be, Mike? The Girl Scout cookies nobody really likes? Those shortbread ones?
Okay.
Like, they're okay, but why would you get that over Thin Mints or something? It reminds me of that with walnuts.
Yeah, the walnut note or the nutty note to this, I thought, and the nose felt like char, but you're right, on the palate it feels like a walnut. You're right, that's pretty close to it. It's an ashy walnut too. It's just, I've never really had that note in a whiskey before.
No, this is completely unique. I will say, up front initially, I do get a sweetness that is a little more acidic and a little bit more
Sour.
Yes, sour. That indicates that it is a white wine. Like it definitely is a dessert white wine with a little hint up front. I'm still getting it on the finish too. I mean, oak, and a little bit of sour.
Yeah, and it gets drying too.
Yeah, super drying, which French oak usually is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I was shocked when I tasted this, Mike, because I bought it. I didn't read the details super in depth. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of interested. You're telling me good proof Balvenie. Okay, age statement. The price on this thing was under 150. Might have been 120. I was like,
worth a shot.
I was like, hey, that's worth a gamble. I mean, I had to ship it, so whatever. And then I got the bottle and I started doing a little more research, which is something I should do before I buy. But again, it wasn't super expensive. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't super expensive. And I read 16 years in the traditional casks, and I went, that's kind of odd. Like 16 years, and then you only put it in for a few months into these other casks?
Yeah, those casks were aggressive.
Yeah, but I know why now.
They left their mark.
They must be small. I don't know how big these wine barrels are. Maybe they're small.
True.
Maybe that's why it got just super oaky.
Quarter cask size?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely unique. Very much the most walnut-forward whiskey I've ever tried in my life. I am confident in saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Walnuts and sugar.
Yeah, I'm torn with, how do you, describe some of these notes and how to, talk about this whiskey, because it's just so different.
No, it's very nutty. It's very nutty.
So here, I'm going to just go ahead and throw a little water in here.
Maybe I can put more water on it, and it'll change something a little bit more.
It's definitely not lacking flavor or complexity. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's got a long finish.
All of that. But yeah, very, very strange Balvenie. It's almost like the Macallan Rare Black. Very strange Macallan. This is a very strange Balvenie.
Ooh.
I will say I get more of the Balvenie note the more water I put in it. And the vanilla does start to come up a bit more.
Yeah, and it's kind of now it's taking the oak that was kind of dense and it's kind of like it's spreading it out where you're kind of getting it in layers now instead of just a big punch of it.
True. Still significant.
Yeah. I have to say, I do enjoy the nose on this thing, even though it's giving me some strange elements. I'm enjoying it.
I don't know if it's interesting. Enjoy might be strong, which I guess would lead me to my next question.
I'll give you a little taste here.
Where you would be at as far as a whiskey score. Allow me. Mm-hmm. Why I appreciate this distillery, and it's a solid ABV and a solid mouthfeel. It's fairly viscous. This is really my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with an 86. And I'm going to say that's a higher score than I should. It's an 86 as far as quality. As far as enjoyment, I'm at an 84. Or an 80. Where you at?
86. That was the number I had in my head. Mm-hmm. I was debating 85, and I might actually be right there with you where this might be an 83.
As far as enjoyment?
Let's put it this way. If we go by my grade school days, 83 was the lowest B where I went to school.
Okay.
I know some places it's different. For us, it was 83.
We were solid in the B at 83 where I went.
Huh?
We were solid Bs where I was.
You're going down to 80?
Yeah, dude, if you could catch a ball, yeah, you're fine. 78's a B.
Yeah. College, it was 80, but in everything up to college was 83. And so I kind of think of this as like, you got the B minus. We're giving you that. I don't dislike this. If somebody poured me this, I would be very appreciative that I got to try and enjoy it. Don't know when I'd ever want to drink this whiskey. Again, I don't dislike it. It's just not something I ever want to pour.
Yeah, I've never had it again. Fine.
Yeah. Again, I cannot say I dislike this. I just can't say I like it. I mean,
I think you know what we're saying. Anyway, those are our thoughts on the whiskey. Dustin, until next time, what do we wish the folks?
Happy oaky drinking.
We'll see you then.